His temperament is, of course, number one issue in the election. And let me show you two of his recent tweets after Colin Powell was hacked and private emails of his were stolen, some of them saying very critical things of Trump, calling him a national disgrace, an international pariah. Trump tweeted this in response, quote, "I was never a fan of Colin Powell. After his weak understanding of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq equals disaster, we can do much better." And then when Robert Gates, the former Secretary of Defense under President Bush and President Obama, called Trump in a Wall Street Journal op-ed unqualified and unfit to be commander-in-chief, Trump tweeted this: "Never met but never liked dopey Robert Gates. Look at the mess in the U.S. is in. Always speaks badly of his bosses, many bosses, including Obama. Last night he went on to call him a clown, suggest that there's something going on with him that we don't know." Would you tolerate that kind of behavior in a staffer or in one of your children?
Jake, it's a completely ridiculous analogy. Now, Colin Powell and Robert Gates are allowed to hurl insults at Donald Trump, but Donald Trump's not allowed to respond. This is someone who was Secretary of State and another person who was Secretary of Defense. The fact is that they hurl insults at Donald Trump, and the standard is he's not allowed to hurl them back. The fact of the matter is the American people are tired of that kind of political correctness, Jake. They want people who speak their mind. Donald speaks his mind. And the fact is, he's not my child, and he's not a member of my staff. He's a candidate for President of the United States who was attacked by a former Secretary of State and a former Secretary of Defense in very, very aggressive language. And so let's not try to kid ourselves here with this analogy, Jake. The fact is, if Secretary Powell and Secretary Gates want to use that language, they can suspect that a strong person will use similar language back.